following is a presentation of the Pontywood Sports Network.
Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick.
The following is a presentation of the Pontywood Sports Network.
Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick, boom.
We can move it underground, bro. We can toss it all around, Joe.
Convert another first down and goal.
We're gonna take it all the way.
Chick, boom, chick, boom, chick.
We can start turning up the sound, yo. Another Tuesday round, slow.
Are you ready for the
Nick Brown Show?
Ready for the Nick Brown Show.
I'm ready for the Nick Brown Show.
Can you dig it?
Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 20 ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank. Welcome, everybody, to the Pizzeria. It's Tuesday night. It's our 11th episode here on the 11th month, 11th day. Happy Veterans Day, 11/11/11 for us. Before we talk football or anything, even before we talk pizza here at the Pizzeria or the Sabine State Bank that brings us the show, we want to say thank you to any veteran that is watching, that likes football, that is a part of the Rough Rider family or any of the other football families out there. Thank you so much for your service on this Veterans Day. I don't do much Facebook. I don't do much Facebook, but a friend of mine from college, he was a theater student and just the typical theater student. You don't associate her with Veterans Day.
Sure.
Now that, we're in our 50s, she wrote the most beautiful post as a tribute to her dad as a veteran.
Yeah.
And I thought,
yeah, that's awesome.
Age is good for people because that being a patriot is good at any age.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that going on, and real quick, what an exciting game Friday. I didn't go to Russ expecting it to be a cardiac arrest.
No, well, and Rusk, when you go back and watch game film, and when I talk with people for the game, Rusk and they always play center tough, and
Yes.
especially when you add in the high stakes for them with the way the final few weeks of district worked out. When you look at the fact that if they win, they're in, that puts a whole new dynamic on it, and so they go from being frustrated and winning one game all year to like, oh crap, we could roll into this thing. We could still get in there and get one more week, which is huge for coaches. That's the big thing. Say what you want to about how many teams make the playoffs or whatever. The biggest thing for coaches and a big reason to make it in is not just to say, oh, we're in, and it's not. The biggest thing about making the playoffs is you have at least guaranteed one more week with your seniors, those guys that you're really going to miss. And you have one more week to practice, one more week with your guys, and you have an opportunity to bring up some of your younger guys that maybe were on the sub-varsities, and they get to practice at a bigger game speed, especially those guys that you're probably going to be counting on the following season. And so that's the big reason for playoffs that coaches from the coaching standpoint is the extra time you get with your guys, and the deeper you go, the more time you get, and that was a big thing for us. And I think it was a big part of our success at Aubrey was, we would go 3 to 4 rounds deep every year, and so we had a whole extra month of practice. Teams
bonus
like
month.
Yeah, programs like Carthage and Salina and Kilgore and those guys that get long playoff runs. You have an extra 5 to 6 weeks of practice with your guys. You had a whole bonus season.
How nice that would be for teachers that are in teaching if there was just suddenly a bonus 6 weeks. a lot of them wouldn't like that. But
Yeah.
if you're trying to get a lot of material in, they
Right.
would. So
Yep.
that's what y'all are doing. So, yeah, it was a great game. We'll talk about it here in a minute. And, of course, we're getting ready for the round 1 playoff game in Jacksonville Friday against the Van Vandals. And we will talk plenty about that. But first, our pizza, as always, is the Meat Lovers Pizza. But show everybody, Shires, or Nick, what that is. That's
No, we got it there. All right.
that's the work sticks. Mm-hmm. That's you go in and get breadsticks, but you order it with the works. It's
I've been subtly hinting at it for a couple of weeks.
I know.
I appreciate
So
it.
nothing subtle about
Right,
that though.
that's
That's an in-your-face dish right there.
Well, it's something we try to rotate so everybody can see
Right.
All the stuff they have,
a good selection of things they have, but it's hard not to choose
Right.
the work sticks every week.
That's pretty good. All right, so that's our pizza, and as we go to break, we're about to have some good old-fashioned coach talk about last week's game with Coach Brown, and as it is all year long, it's brought to you by JBA Financial Services, John Black, and Jason Locke, and the others in Longview as well. So we're going to hear from them now, and some others. We'll be back to talk about Week 10. JBA Financial Services brings you Coach Talk, and there's a reason for that. John Black knows that when you're preparing for an important game, you need a plan. And they'd like to be a part of the details, the X's and O's of that plan. He's put together a good team, a coaching staff that would help you and your family get where they want to go. At JBA Financial Services, they're working to secure your family's future.
The Friday night lights are shining, and we are teaching driving. CDL Training Academy is your resource to a better career. Come and get trained and get tested right here in Henderson, Texas. CDL Training Academy. Visit our Henderson, Texas office or online at cdllearn.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pizzeria. It's the Nick Brown Show. It's brought to you by Sabine State Bank. We just talked about JBA Financial, and there's also JBI Insurance. Joe Bill Mattier, thank you for your loyal support of the program through the whole year for the last several years.
And I saw a sign up that says that he may be repping some progressive. So maybe we'll see Flo there.
Maybe. I doubt it, but maybe. That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be great. And also Mooney's Emporium. This is normally where Shires tells me about something delicious that he bought there, but have you been there this week?
No, we didn't get there this week,
Okay.
but I bought enough.
Okay.
I bought enough. Apple cobbler muffins.
Apple cobbler muffins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sounds
Chef's kiss. Very nice.
okay. And also Christmas shopping as well. So
Oh, yeah, it's going to be time.
it's getting close.
Oh, we went on a family vacation to Colorado a few years ago, and we had Shell make us up
matching shirts.
matching shirts with the thing from Christmas, from Chevy Chase Christmas Vacation. It says we're all from the mental hospital. I mean,
Okay.
It was funny because the TSA people got a laugh. I think we got through smoother because of that.
Surely you're not a terrorist with a dress like that.
You wouldn't think so.
Right. Okay. So there you go.
They giggled.
Get
they,
on-
they actually giggled.
Go to Mooney's. Get on the plane faster. That's what we're saying.
Uh-huh.
All right, Coach. We already referenced the Russ game,
Yep.
but what were some? We'll start with what were some of the things that you were proud of, and then we can talk about some of the details.
Well, I think the biggest thing I was most proud of, and this is the first thing I told the kids after the game, is that they showed a ton of grit. They showed a ton of refuse to lose mentality. They didn't let there have been games in the past this season where things don't go our way and it kind of just snowballs into just a down whatever.
Yeah.
And they just kept fighting. They kept plugging.
Right.
We tell them keep chopping. It may not fall down yet, but it's going to. And so that was something that I was really proud of with the kids.
But what about Cooks in that play?
Man.
Oh my gosh!
Talk us through. I got him to talk. It was one of my favorite post-game interviews.
Yeah.
Because I said, I'm your opponent. Show me how you did it. And here was he holding the ball, and he taught me through it. But still, that's a split second.
It is, and the big thing is, and that's something that we work every week. We call it CPR drill, claw, punch, and rip. That's one of our turnover
Right.
circuits. So it's a CPR drill, claw, punch, rip.
All right.
And so we work tackling circuit and turnover circuit every day as a part of our defensive practice. And so that's something that we actually work. Now, ideally, in a perfect situation, he doesn't stare down the quarterback and let a receiver run behind him. But that quarterback was really good at scrambling and buying himself extra time, getting out of that first initial rush and buying himself some extra time. And his receivers, you could tell they were taught when he breaks the pocket, you get your butt as deep as you can, because worst case, takes off and run, those guys going to run up further.
Right.
Best case, those guys take off running before you cross the line of scrimmage, you get deep pass, right? So that's also something we work is we call it plastering. So as soon as a quarterback breaks the pocket, our secondary find the closest guy to you and just stick to him like glue, just plaster.
Right.
But anyway, so
But you mess up.
You mess up, but then
you don't
recover.
hang your head.
Right,
You don't
he
hang-
recovered. And that's what I was talking about, that grit. Like, he knew he messed up. He knew, it would have been easy to just turn around and watch the ball float, but he didn't. He didn't even look at the ball. He took off sprinting straight for that receiver. I remember that kid caught it, and I was like, great, now we're going to have 90 seconds to go back down and score. And then all of a sudden the ball comes out, and kid jumps on in the end zone, touchback, our ball, kneel it, and get out of there. It was
How you've seen the film?
Yes, sir. Several times.
Are we going to see it?
Yeah, the play's on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll look forward to the next segment to see. You don't have replay in high school football. That would be one that the NFL would have reviewed in the last 2 minutes over and over and over.
Well,
to
I
make
actually
sure.
did that. The kid did fumble before he crossed the plane.
Okay.
And so I went back and looked, because I was like,
But
we'll
because-
just see.
but-
But it was really close. Like,
but
it was a split second of, if he'd have
Yeah.
gone another 6 inches, it'd have been a touchdown.
And the Russ coaching staff were about to go into epilepsy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you understand there's no replay. And
There's
as
no
close as
replay.
it was.
So even if it is close, like, I watched that play 2 or 3 times today, and it's like right, and it's hard because you're behind it, and we don't have the pylon cams,
Right.
So you can't see right when it crosses. But I mean, it was just a heads up play, and what I tell the kids all the time is let the refs make the call. You just keep fighting.
Right.
And we had a similar play.
Yep.
I mean, it's just one of those plays. Yeah, that was one of the defining plays of the game, because then we get the ball back and we get to kneel it out and get out of there with a win.
And then somebody went in and actually, I mean, we either need to recover it or knock it out of the back of the end zone, right? I mean, if a Russ player had fallen on it, what's the rules in high school on that? Would they be able to recover it and be a touchdown?
Yeah, it would be a touchdown.
Or is the same player? There was the rule, the holy roller rule, right? I mean, usually in the NFL for a long time, only the person that fumbled it could recover it for a touchdown.
Yeah, no, it's
That's not
anybody.
the-
Yeah,
that's not the
anybody.
rule
If
anymore.
they would have recovered the fumble,
Yeah.
so either on D, either we wanted our kid to boot it out of the end zone, and be a touchback,
Yep.
or
That's right.
jump on it.
Y'all
and
remember the
recover
holy
it.
roller play
Yeah.
from the Raiders?
Yep.
Christensen?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because there've been several. When you watch highlights and stuff, kid will fumble it in the end zone, another kid jumps on it. But the only thing that stinks is, like, if you fumble it and it rolls out of the end zone, then it's a touchback. Same thing. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what we teach our kids is.
I asked Coach Parks about that. We were speaking of the Colonel. The Colonel was the principal at Center High School. We were playing Gladewater, and it was a game. I mean, this was our 017 when Kyle was a senior.
Yeah.
And he's rushing down, and I'm right there. I'm on the sidelines before we had all this stuff. I was of course, you get the most beautiful person to be down on the sideline.
You're the face of the franchise.
I'm down on the
Face of
I'm
the
down on the
franchise.
sideline. And I'm right there. I'm from me to the work sticks to this, and Kyle's going in, and he gets across and gets the ball across the pylon, but then they hit it and knock it out, and it rolls in. And so they call it a touchback, even though Kyle clearly got across the plane.
Yep.
And Kyle didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. But the Colonel was over there. And he was an administrator.
Yeah, right.
And James Greer was a former official. Who was also a school board president at some point.
Yeah.
They were over there. Both of them were just,
Yeah.
And the official looks at me. He puts his hand on his flag and says, and I look at him, I said, sir, I'm not saying a word.
Please,
and he looks back at me.
please don't shoot me.
He says, you better tell your buddies to be quiet. But, yeah, so we had that with Kyle. See if Kyle remembers that.
I bet he does.
Yeah.
I bet he does. But, yeah, so that was a crazy play. Just one play in the mini, we had 3 touchdowns called back.
Yep.
That was
The
craziness.
second 3-touchdown callback game. I
Yeah,
remember this
that's
too.
always frustrating.
We
but-
had one where it was 1st and 2, and then it ended up being, we ended up like back at the 45.
Yeah,
or
so that on that play, that was just bananas. So you end up getting right before the kid goes in to score, get a holding penalty on the 2, which I mean, you can say that was a point of attack thing. I mean, yeah, the kid's arms were outside of the whatever, but you hadn't called it on. Never mind, I'm not going to get into
Yeah,
that.
right.
But and then the kid's frustrated. He's young. He's sophomore, and I think the kid deserves an Oscar for that flop. But he kind of does like that, and the kid just does the whole. And then then it's a 10-yard holding penalty
on top.
It's a 15-yard personal foul. It's a dead ball foul, and so now we're looking at going from first and goal
at the 27
to all right. Well, I don't have a play for first and goal from the 27, so let's just keep chopping and see what happens.
Right.
And yeah, and then another play that kills me was into the first half as poor of a first half as I think we were very frustrated. I wouldn't answer it right now.
That is the truth, Colonel. I'm telling the truth. I am telling the truth.
I'm giving it to him. He can answer it if he wants to, Matt. If he wants to.
That is the God's. May the good Lord strike me down right here if that story was not 100% true.
Yep.
Now I want to ask you something else.
I'm throwing a flag.
Yeah.
Thinking about like crazy and plumb crazy stuff. You see the game that's going around on the internet. The last play where they run a hitch and
the lateral play.
Hook and lateral.
Yeah.
And then the kid, they thought it was over because he laterals it. The catcher laterals it underhand. And it bounces, and everybody just stops.
And the kid takes off running.
And the kid stops, and this other kid comes over and says, "Run!" Yeah, it kind of helps him.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a crazy one. The craziest one I saw this weekend, though, it actually happened in Commerce. It was Lamar and East Texas A&M, whatever they're called now, and they were having. I think East Texas A&M had the no time left. Lamar just scored a kicked a field goal or kicked a kickoff, and so they're doing the whole Cal Stanford trying to throw the laterals around.
Yeah.
Well, poor kid from East Texas A&M throws it back this way and shorts it. Yeah. And the kid from Lamar's right there, picks it up off the bounce, takes it in to get another score.
Oh, wow.
Just insult to injury. So, that stuff happens all the time. We had a similar special teams disaster. So, we had we called a timeout there right before the half. It was first and goal from the 2 again.
Right.
And so, we're all sitting up there, and I told our special teams guy, I said, hey, have the kickoff team ready. He said, yes, sir. So, he goes back to get them ready. Well, I'm talking to the rest of the huddle into the headset, but he's notorious for – taking his headset off. And so I told Easton, I said, hey, look here, we got first and goal. We got 35 seconds left. Okay, we're going to run a play. If we don't get in, jump up and run this play. If we don't get in, jump up, spike it. Then it's fourth down. I think I told him if we don't score on this play, because I didn't want to risk it.
Right.
I said, if we don't score on this play, you guys jump up, get set, and kill the clock. Get the PAT, get the field goal unit on, kick a chip shot, go up by 1.
Yep.
That's good. That'll be big in the half on a positive note. Well, somewhere the communications lines got crossed, and we don't miss on that play, so Easton scrambling, get everybody lined up. Well, then here comes the freaking field goal unit, and it's a calf scramble, and I'm hollering, no, we're waiting, we're going to spike it, we're going to kill it, but they're already past the hatches. They knew because we also worked that drill where no time left, it's third down, sprint on there, then let's roll. And
you're sitting there going, we're about to have 22 men on the field.
What was great was we got it set up, and then one of our kids got a cramp and fell down. Well, that's a delay of game penalty because of so many people faking injury.
Okay.
Yeah, it's because people faked injuries to stop the clock.
Right.
And so not only is it a penalty, but it's also a 10-second runoff.
Yes.
And so with 3 seconds left,
over.
plenty of time to snap the ball and kick the field goal. Then we get a penalty, run the gate, run at halftime. Instead of going up by 1 at the half, well, now we're down by 2. And so it's just one of those nights. It was just we could not get out of our own way that first half.
Fortunately, though, you pulled out.
We did.
You won it, and we are now in. It's the 3rd seed against Van.
Yes.
If we lost, it would have been a different.
Yeah, I think if we'd have lost, Rusk would have jumped us. We would have been 4th seed going up against Pleasant Grove.
Yeah, which nobody really wants.
Right.
So
really only one other team that you would rather play less.
That's right.
We already played them.
Yeah. We have that in our resume. Well, that's our game analysis brought to you by Camp Uwani Youth Camp, just down the road between Center and Timpson. People from all over the country and some international campers as well come right out there and have a great staff from all over the country as well, college kids from everywhere. Love to have you this summer. We'll hear from them and a few more. We'll be right back with some video highlights from the last week's game.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Well, Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name, and they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank. Batters Law Firm is your first choice in personal injury law. Jeff Batters and his staff lead the way in the area with best of Nacogdoches and best of Lufkin votes over the last several years. If your case matters, it's got to be Batters.
Welcome back, everybody. This is the Coach Nick Brown Show. Man, I just got a jalapeno.
I'm telling you, they'll get you.
Right.
You're not ready.
Just one right in the right. Kicked me right in the vocal cords. But this is the Coach Nick Brown Show, brought to you by Sabine State Bank. Thank you, Steve Waters, for supporting this and everything else that you do for the community. And we're live here from the pizzeria with some terrific work sticks and then the Meat Lovers Pizza. Right now it's time to go to our Elite Hair Salon, which brings us our highlights each week. And we've got 10. So we're going to start without further ado. We'll head right to it. So clip number 1, tell us about this.
So this is just a goal line play right here, and this is, something that we've emphasized, getting down inside the 5-yard line and not sticking it in. So we put on some stuff there and just a quick hit and play, and that just, the toughness of our guys up front when we execute, that we can be, a good goal line team and not self-destruct when we get inside the 10-yard line. And we locked everything up, blocked everything up, and Easton did a great job.
Right.
We kind of had a little trickeration there, not really trickery, but just sending Bluford one way and Easton the other, and you figure out which one's got the ball.
Right. So I've got a quick question. Because I had a fan ask me this today. So
okay.
And again, one of our best players on the team is our center. And we all know center is the most important position in all of football, because if you don't get the snap right, I don't care what play is called.
Can't run a play.
But we did have some issues with the snap going low and outside. And I've had a couple of people. I had one of our big fans ask me today, what's the deal? That hasn't happened. I mean, the only thing I can think of is he might have had a really small, quick guy in front of him, and he was trying to.
No, that was part of the game plan. We're trying to throw people off.
Oh, okay.
No, so he this was his first game. He had a shoulder brace.
Oh, okay.
And kind of restricts movement.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And also, Jamie is a very he's a profuse sweater.
Oh, yeah.
And so and so with that, he was worried about the shoulder thing, and so we got it figured out after.
Yeah.
But today, this week we worked on some stuff with him, so he's been wearing the brace in practice, not just in games, and then making sure he's got a towel readily available.
Yeah.
So, but that is kind of just one of those things. Like sometimes it's like when you play golf and you can make that shot. Every time you go play golf, this is my best shot, and then been doing it for 4 years perfect, and then just all of a sudden you got the yips.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's what stood out, right? Because this is not something that we've never really have to worry about.
No.
And just all of a sudden, we just had a whole segment of those. And like I said, because he's so good, it caught people's attention.
Yep.
And I was asked about it. I said I'd ask.
Yeah, no, that was not a norm. I think the last time we had snap issues was when we tried for a certain game. Due to injuries and stuff, we tried to move Jamie to guard and start another center.
Right.
And then that didn't last very long at all.
Right.
But no, he's fine. But that was his first game. He had it. I think whatever reason the brace wasn't letting him get full range of motion, and so he figured it out by the end. And yesterday and today he's been perfect.
That's good. So everybody, you don't have to worry about that.
No.
But when you find a good center, you keep him because they're worth their weight in gold, baby.
Yes, and that's a lot of gold.
It is. Here's clip number 2. Oh, yeah. I remember this play.
This just opened up like crazy, and then he just does the rest. We got a late flag on this one, too. Ended up getting a little closer on the extra point, a little extra stuff there on the sideline. But, yeah, he surpassed 1,000 yards this season, so we got a 1,000-yard rusher. And very proud of him. He's averaging a little over 7 yards a carry. And so he's been our workhorse. By this point in the season, any film you watch, you can tell who we're trying to get the ball to in the run game.
Right.
And then having Easton is just an added bonus.
Absolutely. All right, we'll go to the third clip.
Yep. This is another one where Cook's catching on offense and on defense.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
Yep.
he snatched the ball.
And that was huge. That was a big down situation to get us down here close, and that was a huge thing. And Easton, as you know, we've progressed through the season. You know, it's tough when, you know, for 2 years, you know, you haven't played quarterback since middle school, and then all of a sudden, hey, you're our Friday night guy. You know, here we go. And then when I got here, we're in the middle of baseball season, and so I'm having to share because he's also a starter for the baseball team, and so I'm only getting him a couple days a week. But he's come along really well. I think last week he was 20 for 29 for like 230. And no picks, no fumbles. So he did a much improved job.
So in the fall, according to his grandfather, he's bug juice. And then in the spring, he's Captain Hook. Okay. Because he's got a curveball that is fabulous.
He does. I got to witness that firsthand.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's number 4.
This is just another physical run by Bluford. I mean, here he gets wrapped up. Now, I wish he would have just kept outside and trusted his speed. Yes. He goes in. I think he likes contact.
Oh, I think he does.
His helmet ends up off, rolling on the ground there. I mean, he didn't come out. I mean, he had to come out for that one play, and he was right back in there.
Yeah.
He's one of the most physical running backs I've ever had to coach. He's a good one. But I think sometimes he goes looking for it.
Oh, I think he did there. I remember that play. We were thinking that if he stays outside, he might go take it to the house. Instead, he goes inside and
well, I think
he
was trying to set up the receiver's block, but you know, and it's hard. It's hard to teach a kid, like, because you never want to try and correct if they see something, because you want them to keep their instinct and keep their vision. But you know, we also want to teach them, like, hey, trust your speed. You're fast. Go be fast. Make that guy tackle you one-on-one.
That's right. All right, here's our next clip. This is our first defensive clip.
Yeah.
Surely you've got the hit that Cody puts on the guy. That's the hardest hit I've seen in.
The one he got flagged on?
No, I didn't. Okay. He didn't get flagged.
The body slam one. This is where the he almost had. I thought he was I think he was already planning his touchdown dance.
Right.
That was Grant?
That was the general.
That was the general. I think he almost had it there. I
felt
so. I was already celebrating on the sidelines too. I thought he sure had it because he also plays tight end on offense and catches a lot of passes during practice. And I think it's different when you don't know it's coming to you or when you don't expect it. He did a great job reading the screen, getting held, and no one throws. You know, never mind. I can get on that all day.
Right.
But
yeah, that was great. I mean, he read it just like you're supposed to.
He did a great job.
All right, here's clip number 6.
This is just a little quick screen just to see. I mean, this is a huge down right here. You know, it's 3rd and 2, middle of the field. We were going to go for it anyways. That's a 100% we're going for that one. But we saw something in their defense that we like to match up, and our receivers have been doing a great job all year blocking. And that was just, I think Cooks ended up with over 150 yards receiving, like 12 receptions. So
yeah, we'll see it again. I mean, he just makes a guy miss. But is that 7 making the block that blocks the guy into the?
No, that was Eli.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and this was actually his first game back healthy, like all year. He's been in and off and on. He's finally got that ankle back healthy, and he's been good to go.
Right. Well, good job at Levis on that, because we normally see Barnes, right?
Normally, JK's been a blocking machine.
Right.
And Flap is a great blocker as well.
All right, here we go. Here's number 7.
This one's I just like this one because of how he finishes the run. Guy comes in there.
Oh, yeah, I remember that, yeah.
And I asked him, I said, was your head hurt? He goes, no, I was talking to that guy. He was talking crap all game. It's like, okay, well, fair enough.
That's right. All right, we got number 8.
I think this is the play. So what's crazy is, leading up to this.
Oh, that's the interception.
This interception is his first interception. Leading up to the last play there, we had gotten the ball back and we're still in good shape. Well, then, so did you notice the lights at that stadium? Like ours, you have the rows of lights.
Yeah.
Right. This one, they were like spiraled.
Yeah.
Around the pole and the LEDs on them. If you looked up at them, it was weird. And our guy, muffed that punt, and they were able to get the ball back right there, and we got a fourth down stop. Now, they said his arm, because he put his hand down there, he's down. And I asked him if his elbow or his knee touched or the ball, and they said no. But, I mean, it's a difference in 4 yards. But, yeah, he just, like I said, he recovers well, is able to, with his speed, he can recover well on those plays, and just does a great job in the secondary.
All right, 2 more clips.
This is just another one where he just does his thing. Another great job blocking on the perimeter. This was the game winner right here.
That's right.
That's the one that put us up. He just kind of walked it off. Yeah, that was great. Again, blocking downfield on the perimeter. You know, that's a
Yep.
8 to 10 yard gain just through the second level. But without those guys on the outside doing their
right.
job, that's not a touchdown.
That's
so
right.
that's something that we've emphasized all year with our guys.
All right, here's our last clip. And this is the big one.
This is the big one. And again, like, you know, it wouldn't have killed us, I guess, because we, you know, worst case we go into overtime or whatever. But, you know, even then you don't want to give them the opportunity to go for two, potentially win the game.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about. That kid threw that ball 50 yards.
He did.
I mean, he had an arm on him. He got away from pressure and catches it. Catches it around the 5 yard line. And then ball comes out. We jump on it. And that was just a crazy ending to a crazy game.
It was a plumb crazy play.
Yes.
But anyway, so there we go. Those are our highlights for the week. So we come back, we will go on to our next segment where we talk about Rider of the Night and move into, again, an update of the other sports that are going on as you know, some are wrapping up and then others are starting to ramp up. So we'll hear from a few of these folks. We'll hear from Elite, who brings us the highlights along with a couple other sponsors. We'll be right back. Again, this is a Nick Brown Show here live on NETSN.
Part of Watson & Sons Funeral Home is Oak Lawn Memorial Park Perpetual Care Cemetery. A beautifully cared for facility, far enough away from town to feel private, but not too far away. Watson & Sons, their family taking care of yours. You're watching the Coach Nick Brown Show, live from the pizzeria. The coach is in the house.
So many things get started at pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Welcome back, everybody. Enjoyed the video highlights brought to you by Elite Hair Design. Now, Center Motor Company brings us our Rider of the Night. I would think there would be several to choose from on such an unconventional evening as Friday was.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think the Rider of the Night, I think it's our whole defense.
Yep.
That sounds crazy, but I think that's one of the better games.
Yeah.
They had, I think, 4 fourth down stops, 2 stops inside the red area, and obviously that last series where it was 4 straight downs of just punishing football. And I mean, any kid that played defense to me is a Rider of the Night because they came to play.
And it was a defense that they were not accustomed to at all. They were
and that was the thing too. So, I mean, we were used to they had changed offenses about halfway through district, and they had been all spread, very similar to what we do all year. And then they get to the Brownsboro game, and they decide, you know what, we're going to run the split back veer. Okay. And so they had run that for a few games, so we worked everything against split back veer. And they ran it a little bit, but we, for the most part, shut that down really well.
Yeah.
Well, then they had that set where they ran that toss and the play action off of it. They had a really good play where they did full student body left. They faked the pitch, and then the quarterback ran a trap out the back door. This is designed quarterback run. It's old, flex bone stuff. And I told the coach after the game, I said, man, that takes a lot of guts to change everything that you're doing halfway through district, but you guys figured it out. They did a great job with it. But their game plan for us was they're going to load up 3 guys in the backfield, and they were going to toss it right and lock up our outside defenders, and we had to ask our corners to do something that most corners don't like doing, and that's coming in hard and forcing the run back inside, and Bricaden and Chris Dice got in there, and Flat got in there, and Pat Moore got it. So all of our guys were sold out to doing their job, and I think that showed in the final outcome.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just a couple things on that. I mean, number one, it was odd because we noticed they were running in the first half. That toss was to the boundary every time, and I'm like, they're going to switch that up and go to the field at some point. No. But the other thing is, I would just say this, that my ride of the night, and we've mentioned this kid's name several times, with Radney, number 54.
Oh man,
which is the best number of all time. But the Manster. Yeah, but he was running. He was a lot of times he was getting the first guy through. And
I think too that a big reason why I think they got away from their veer game was because he was always there. Yeah. And that's the big thing. I think we talked about it at the Spring Hill game. When you're playing an option team, you have to be disciplined. You have to play assignment football. Yes. If you try and do your own thing or do somebody else's job, you're leaving a gap open. And all game they couldn't block him, just shooting his gap, just smoking people. Yeah. And he did a great job.
Well, high praise. There you go. Our Rough Rider of the night, brought to you by Center Motor Company, whether it be here at the pizzeria or if it's at the field for the last, I don't know how long. So we'll hear about some new Fords from Center Motor Company, and we'll be back to talk about the other fall sports and our Piney Woods update, because once you get to the playoffs, there's a lot of footballs to talk about. We'll be right back.
When you think Center Motor Company, Billy Don, what do you think?
Trucks, and more trucks.
They have pre-owned vehicles.
Yep, and a lot of them's are trucks from all brands, makes, and models. But the Ford trucks, man, they got a fleet of them.
Yes, they do.
Come on down to the corner of Hutcherson and Hurst, Center Motor.
What's that old State Farm slogan, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there? Well, that could not be a better description than Chris Mayfield of Mayfield State Farm. Since he came to town close to 20 years ago now, he has been the quintessential good neighbor. It's the same thing true of his insurance agency, Chris Mayfield State Farm.
Hey, y'all got a dirty truck.
Well, then take it to Joe's Car Spa for a spa day.
At Joe's, they make them shine.
And they're standing by to work with the community.
They was elected best of Shelby County this year, and it's called Joe's, but it probably ought to be called Reed, since Reed Grant owns it.
So, Billy Don, when it's time for your car or truck to have a spa day, where do you take it?
I don't know where.
All right, everybody. We say thank you to Pizzeria and, of course, to Sabine State Bank, but we also say thanks just up the road to the Forge, where a lot of Shelby County goes to get stronger, stay stronger. You get to looking and feeling your best with Danbert Collum at the Forge. He's been a part of our coverage now for 3 years. Thank you, Danbert. And Rough Rider Oil and Lube, Nathan Phelps and his crew want you to take care of your car, and they would love for you to do it with them, where the 27-20 score is still on the scoreboard. Right there on Highway 96, Rough Rider Oil and Lube. Okay, this is that odd time of the year I remember as a teacher where most of the fall sports have finished. Mm-hmm. Football is, once in the playoffs, it's really kind of the only thing. Girls basketball is just starting to kind of gear up.
Yep.
But that's about it.
That's about it.
You're the only show
right now. Yeah, kind of that dip before the craziness of winter kicks in, and then spring you just go bananas with sports. Yeah. But so our girls basketball team, actually they've been doing really well, and Coach Smith, he does a great job. But they've already started been scrimmaging. I think they played a couple games already. Got a tournament coming up. And they've been doing great. And so, volleyball wrapped up, tennis is wrapped up until spring. Middle school tennis is rocking and rolling right now. So there's an update for you. They're 2-1.
Really?
And Coach Dykes assures me there will be more.
Okay.
So our middle school tennis kind of that week, as soon as the high school season ends, they do like a 4-week kind of rotation. And so our middle school tennis is up and rocking and rolling. Middle school basketball's already had tryouts and getting going. And so there's never really any total rest, but there's it slows down a little bit, and then you get basketball kicking up into high gear.
Right.
Yep.
And something unusual, speaking of tennis, tomorrow at the high school.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. SFA is, I understand, coming for lots of reasons to kind of recruit and put on the full court press for Rough Rider students. But then after school, the Lone Star Division, the conference champion Lady Lumberjacks are doing a part workshop, exhibition. That's high level.
That's going to be cool. Yeah.
And
so they're going to be at our facility, and they're going to just put on a full clinic and just kind of. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, about 4 o'clock is when it starts?
I think that's at 5 to 6.
Okay, 5 to 6.
And then the stuff inside the school we'll have tables set up for them, and our kids are going to get to go in and talk to them about the different programs they have and what they offer. Because I know we do. I can't remember the name of the scholarship, but it's purple. I can't remember. Fred told me, and I forgot. It's bad. But where kids can get scholarship to go to SFA from Center, and so it's always been kind of a big pipeline there. Like when you walk around any school in Center, almost every other teacher's where I went to school thing on their wall, they went to SFA.
Right.
My sister went to SFA, and she's a teacher. And so that was something our counselor approached me about is kind of heck yeah you can well, really you shouldn't ask me, you need to ask Leon. It's named after him.
Right.
It's the Leon Dykes tennis, so you need to ask Leon. But no.
And our buddy Bob Reeves, a big part of that too.
Yeah, for sure.
Wanted to get that
so that's something
going.
super, and that's anytime you can get outside programs to come in and invest in your kids and show kids that this is something that you can do, and it's cool. I'm excited about it.
Little trivia for you. First year of Rough Rider football was 1921. Turns out we were already playing basketball and baseball. I didn't know that. I thought everything started in 21, but there's evidence we had a team. But anyway, 2 years later, SFA opens. Stephen F. Austin State Teacher College, SFA-STC. They have a football team. And 1923, how do you travel to games? Horses have not completely been replaced yet, so you don't load up on a bus really. So you're not going to play Arkansas anybody.
No.
You're just not going to go that far. So one of their first games is an exhibition with Center. I think the first game was SFATC versus CCHS.
Wow.
The final score 120-0.
Yeah, for sure.
They have a jacket up at the alumni office with that, and I always was really mixed feelings when I go in and go, "Yay, college, boo, high school."
Yeah.
Okay,
that's interesting. Well, thank you for that. I'm going to use that at some point later.
Yeah, you can as a motivator.
Yeah.
However bad it was, we didn't lose by 120.
Wasn't that bad.
Could have been worse. All right, that's the other sport update, and you got to drop by that on Wednesday. We have a lot of tennis fans, casual to serious, but that's high-level tennis that you'll get to see right here in your own backyard. Piney Woods update. There's a lot of things going on. Larry and his staff go Thursday to cover. Do you remember which one is it? Shelbyville or St. Augustine?
It's Shelbyville Thursday.
Shelbyville plays Jewett-Leon. That Shelbyville's 4th seed. Jewett was the champion. Shelbyville's like a 4-point underdog. I mean,
right.
That's Shelbyville is that district is just so amazing that the 4th seed almost has the advantage on the Leon's a 7-point favorite.
Yeah.
That's pretty manageable.
Well, that's a great thing about the playoffs is, at that time, it's what we tell our kids, and I've seen it happen time and time again where you see a 4 seed just go on a run or knock off a 1 seed in the first round. It's just it happens every year.
Yeah, and it's likely to happen then. And then on Friday, he goes where St. Augustine is taking on somebody else, Groveton.
Yeah.
And I don't know which one is in Palestine.
Shelbyville.
Okay, so has to go a pretty long ways on Thursday. So St. Augustine and Shelbyville, local county teams being covered. Thursday night, while he's off doing Shelbyville, Shires and I are going to Joaquin to do the Overton Pineland West Sabine game.
Yes, which is a similar situation to Shelbyville because Overton may maybe
Overton's
be favored.
Yeah, the number 4 seed is actually favored in that one. Yeah, you were right. I brought that with me just so I could. Yeah, they're 6-point favorites as the 4th seed. So
they have Mount Enterprise and Lovelady, and I don't know who was third in that district.
Lovelady.
Who was second?
Who was number 10 in the state?
Yeah.
And Grapeland ended up beating
Grapeland.
Lovelady.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
the Sandies.
We covered.
We did. We watched them beat Tenaha, but poor old Lovelady, they went and played Mount Enterprise and scored 66 and lost.
Yeah. That running back Mount Enterprise has is the real deal.
Yeah. And then they went and played Grapeland and scored 50-something and lost. I mean, that's a heck of a year they're having.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's we've got that. So, and then of course Friday we'll be in Jacksonville covering the Rough Riders. So 4 different games that our teams cover, and there's games everywhere that you can either travel to or watch on the NFHS, the National Federation of High Schools. That's where all 4 games will be.
That's right. You know, once we've got a huge lead over Van and it's game over, you can switch over and watch Mount Enterprise and watch that running back.
On the same channel.
We're covering that.
On the same channel because it's not going to be on NETSN. You have to have a subscription to the NFHS network. And
that's a UIL deal.
It's a
so
UIL
don't get mad
deal.
at us.
That's right.
Because I'm started getting emails.
I'm sure.
That's a UIL thing. They own the rights to the playoffs, and so that's the deal they have.
I'm scolded every year.
Somebody's making money, and it ain't us.
It's not us.
There you go.
I promise you, it's not us. We're really no longer in charge of it. We're subcontracting with them, basically. We're their employees for a while. So that's how it works, and that's what's going on. Now, there are 4 sponsors, Tenaha First National Bank, Kay's Hardware, Rancho Grande and Timpson, Sandy Creek Land Enhancement, and Down Home Storage. They are our school sponsors from Piney Woods that sponsor the games that we put on. Local sponsors with lots of rooted, vested interest. We appreciate them, and we're going to recognize them now as we go to break. We'll be right back. These Piney Woods sponsors back our county teams. First National Bank in Tenaha backs the Tigers. Kay's Hardware in Joaquin backs the Rams. Rancho Grande and Timpson says go Bears. And Sandy Creek Land Enhancement is backing the Dragons. They support our county teams, and they also back the Riders.
So many things get started at Pizzeria. You start your party off with a pizza from the pizzeria. You get your celebration started. You get your season started. For a lot of us, our passion with pizza started at the pizzeria, a tradition since 1960s. It's the pizzeria just off the square in Center.
Over the years, most of us have collected a lot of stuff, but where is all that stuff? Down home. So when it starts piling up, you go with Down Home Storage, climate-controlled place for your down home stuff.
Sabine State Bank brings us the Nick Brown Show live from the pizzeria where the pizza is delicious all the time. You had an acquaintance that was here when we started setting up from Rusk or Jacksonville or someplace. He was here doing work of some sort, and he was right over there in the corner eating pizza because that's where pizzeria is known everywhere as that place in Center that you go to eat.
Mm-hmm. That was the first thing I got told when I moved here.
Really?
Was you have to go to the pizzeria. You got to try it out. Yep.
It's because it's not like everything else. You know, there's pizza everywhere, but not pizzeria. All right, Van. The Vandals. For 2 years, 2 and 3 years ago, we were in a district.
And we also played them non-district before that.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we don't have really a rivalry, but we have a familiarity.
Right.
And both years we were in district with them, it came down to us versus Van for the second place seed, and we ended up being third both times. Similar to what's happened with Athens. So this is almost like, for me and for fans that have been around a while before these players were here, a chance at a little bit of payback.
Yeah.
Well, hey, here we are. We're going to send you home.
Yep.
And I would like to see that, but that's personal. What kind of team is Van this year?
So it's different than they've been in the past. I think it was 3 years ago. We matched up with Van in the playoffs when I was at Aubrey and met them in the second round, played at Royce City. And they had just always had this. They were massive on the offensive line. Like, they had 5 big jacks. Just massive offensive line. Quarterback, I think for like a decade stretch there was Coach Moffitt's son, one of his sons.
Right.
And had, were very big up front, ran the ball, pounded the ball on offense, and then had a big defensive line, a very physical defensive line. And really that's kind of been their MO since, Coach Moffitt's been there like, 17, 18 years? So I think this is his 18th season there. And so they've kind of established themselves as that team. They're going to be physical in the run game. They'll throw the ball. Did you take a drink of my drink?
Didn't quite, but
almost.
So I jumped off sides.
All right. Just threw me off there. Anyways, so they've kind of established they're going to run the ball. They've got a system in place that's been there. Those coaches have been together a long time. But it's a little bit different this year because they have they're not as big up front as they've been, but they're still very good up front on the offensive line. And their defensive line is kind of flipped. Instead of being just big, giant dudes up front, they have gone for speed. And they are, it looks like linebackers. And not to say they're small kids, but they're not your big, typical, big defensive line type kids. So they're fast and they move a lot. They do a lot of stunts and blitzes, and they'll bring lots of pressure. And so that's something that we've made an entire film cut up for our offensive line of all of their different stunts and blitzes. We work those every day in practice because they'll run them against the run or the pass as there's no certain rhyme or reason or situation. So they're very, very quick defensively, and their goal, you can tell at every game, is they're going to establish a running game. They're going to run the football to throw the football, and that's we're very similar in that aspect because that's kind of our thing. Because I'm an offensive lineman at heart, or just because that's the strength of our team right now. But whatever you want to say about it, but it's and obviously they've been here before. They're not new to playoffs. They're not new to going on runs. They're not used to going in they've gone in as a 1 seed. They've gone in as a 3 seed. They've gone in as a 2 seed. So they're used to that playoff atmosphere and what comes with it. That's when you play them, you can tell they're technically sound. They're well coached. They're not going to make mental busts. You're going to have to beat them. You're going to have to make sure that that you're competing at a high level. They're always going to have answers for things that you do, so you have to have answers for your answers. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Yep.
Well, I look forward to it.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Maybe it'll be chilly.
I think it's supposed to be like 77 or 78.
Yeah, I think the chill is going to be
I think
gone.
the chill is gone by then. We got a little tease. Now, I will say, yesterday at practice, I did get a little chilly. I was getting on the kids because they're all wearing their hoodies. Because where I'm from, this is just a nice fall day.
Right.
But the kids were all freezing cold, asking for hoodies. Like, it's 50 degrees, y'all. Well, for them, 50 degrees that's a cold front.
Well,
And so
for us, we want to find a place where it's 50 degrees year round because we'll move.
That would be great. That would be amazing. Yeah, but. I'd rather, so when I got here in the spring, I told Amber, I said, man, this place is so nice. It's not as hot as it is there. Like it's humid, but I was here in April and March and May. But boy, once June hit, I was like, all right, I take that back. This is steamy. But thank God for the Ryder Dome. That was clutch. But yeah, so Van, obviously they've been here before. They've done this before. It's not going to be one of those things where we're going to catch them off guard. We've all watched film. We've all studied well. They've by this point in the season, with all of our stuff, all of their stuff is on YouTube. So even though you trade 3 films, you've seen everyone's games, and so it's not that big a deal. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think our kids have finally kind of crossed over that, where they can overcome adversity, where they can fight back from negative plays and negative things happening. I think, first series of the game, we were all geared up and pumped up, and we go 3 and out. It's like, oh, crap. Well, then we get rolling there, and there was a series in there where, we get an empty to kind of spread them out. Well, then they decide, you know what, screw it. We're just going to blitz 7 and see what you do. And so we worked on that a lot this week because I told our kids Monday, I said, look, if Van watched our game, which they did, they're going to be sending pressure. So we got to be able to pick it up. Now, we got 5 guys that block, and they send 7. So we built in some things with our receivers, like, hey, if the guy in your zone blitz is just, just different stuff to give our quarterbacks quick outlets.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it should be a really fun game. I think, depending on which poll you look at, I think it's a 10-point swing either way.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a lot of fun. Our kids have been really focused this whole week. Had a great practice yesterday. Today was just amazing. And so they're ready to go. They're ready to prove that that at this point in the season, records don't matter. It matters how you play now. And I keep telling our seniors, like, hey, my goal is I need one more week with you. I've only got to coach you for one season. I'm not done coaching you. I want one more week with
That's
you.
good.
And that's kind of been our thing. We've been telling our kids is, hey, we all got to do is win one. You don't got to worry about the records. You got to win one. Got to 1-0, win one, and let's go into next week and see what happens.
We've been having good seasons on the record books, better than this one in the last several, and then going and being escorted out after one round. A great opportunity to completely flip the narrative of this season, and is to peak now and win against Bam.
For sure. And I knew coming in, like I said, I think when our first show here, Coach Meeks did an incredible job. I think his first season they were 1-9.
Yeah.
And then they go, they win 7 games and they win 8 games and 8 games, and he done an incredible job with that. But I knew when you graduate 1,000-yard receiver and you graduate a quarterback and you have to kind of find a quarterback, and a lot of these kids either were on varsity last year, we didn't play a lot. Some of them were on the JV last year, and so we're pretty young. But the biggest thing is gaining that experience. I think that's something our kids have learned this year, and learning a new system and learning the way how things with change. Any kid kind of has trouble with change, but I think our kids have risen to the occasion and done an incredible job adapting over the season, and learning, because they had every opportunity, in several parts of the season to say, you know what, this isn't with that 4-game stretch. Like, hey, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. But they did, and they actually came back harder and better and got better. So I've been really proud of our kids and of our coaches all year. The biggest thing they've learned is to ignore the outside noise.
Right.
That's one thing we preach is, hey, the only thing that matters is the people in our locker room and what happens between those white lines. I say, because you're going to hear all kinds of stuff, because unfortunately people don't get to see all the work you put in.
Right.
They only get to see what you do for 3 hours a week. They don't get to see all the work that you put in, how hard you try, how much effort you give forth. They don't get to see those things. I mean, crap, we're running out of the tunnel, and you get cheerleaders telling them that they suck. I was like, oh my gosh, all right. Now, they were joking. It was like trying to get a motivated thing. It wasn't mean. Because I looked over and she said, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to get them to plump up and play. I said, oh, hey, do it again. Say it more. But and so they've done a really good job of focusing on what they need to focus on. And so you always try and find positives. Did I envision us going 5-5 in the regular season? No. But none of that matters now because we're in.
Yeah.
And so right now it's about, hey, all that's washed away. Records don't matter. It's a game that we match up very well, but we're going to have to play well and execute to be successful.
It's winnable.
Yes.
All right, then. There you go. You can see it on the on the NFHS network. You have to buy at least a month subscription, which is cool. You can see a lot of playoff games. Or you can buy a year one, and it's not really expensive either way, but it's annoying because you have to pay for it. But still, that's where the game will be, on the NFHS network. We'll have a link for you where it's real easy to do. Y'all will put that on the link on the homepage.
Whenever you guys send us the link for NFHS, we'll put it up there. Yeah, ticket links online.
We can do that.
All that stuff's ready to go. Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you, Coach, for being with us as always. Good fortune. We'll talk to you again on Friday. We'll wrap it up here right after this.
What's that old State Farm slogan, like a good neighbor?
The team at McAdams Propane is committed to fueling generations of East Texans. And the work Billy Bob and Lisa McAdams started is growing under Josh's leadership. What began in Center has grown into Livingston and Marshall, Henderson and Carthage. For propane, it's McAdams.
So what do you get with Sabine State Bank? Steve Waters and his staff, they know you. They know you by name. And they celebrate the successes when they finance your dreams. But Sabine State Bank is also a fully modern bank with 24-hour online access to your accounts and services ranging from teller services to some of banking's more complicated things. Looking for a place to grow? It's Sabine State Bank.
Have you sustained a bone, joint, work, or sports injury? Problems with mobility or movement? Suffer with pain? Contact Azalea Orthopedics. Our specialists serve patients across East Texas. For proven, trusted medical care, you have a choice. Demand Azalea.
All right, the Nick Brown Show, Week 11, here on November, the 11/11, show number 11. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to Pizzeria for their hospitality and their excellent food, and for being willing to host us every week of the football season, and to Sabine State Bank, who will also be the presenting sponsor, I believe, of either the San Augustine or Shelbyville game. Not exactly sure yet, but just there you go. They are bought in and sold in to youth and the community, and they always will be. As long as Steve Waters is there, you know that's true. What are you looking forward to this week?
A Rough Rider victory over Van on Friday, Longhorn victory over Georgia on Saturday, and then
you have the week off. I mean Sunday off, and then Monday night.
Well, Sunday it's made a loss by the Eagles.
Oh, that would be nice. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Unlikely, but nice.
And then Sunday victory over the hapless Raiders.
We'll see. Hapless teams tend to play really well against the Cowboys.
That's true.
I look forward to the Thursday game. It's fun doing games that you don't have a lot of vested interest in because you learn about two new teams. But I really am looking forward to the Rough Riders and Van. I already explained why. It's I would really like to beat Van after they beat us for the number 2 seed twice in the last time we were in their district.
You remember when we played them in non-district, and this was when Coach Ponder was here, and we kicked a field goal with time expiring to get the victory.
I don't remember it.
And that kind of propelled us. Were you not there for that game?
I missed that game. I was in Arkansas for that game.
Right.
And it's one of the ones y'all talk about all the time.
That's right.
And I don't miss many. But.
Right. And then we ended up kicking a field goal to win a playoff game that same year. We kind of harkened back to the fact that we beat Van on a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a give-me either. It was like 32-yarder or something.
Yeah, it was a legitimate field goal. Those were legitimate field goal kickers we have on this team. Right. And we will look forward to seeing you all the games again in FHS Network, and we'll have the link ready for you so you can just click on it, and then they'll ask you to pay your money, and off you go. All right, on behalf of Coach Brown and Stephen Shires, the counselor, I'm Chris Watlington. We'll see you this weekend.
The proceeding has been a presentation of the Pineywood Sports Network, an affiliate of NETSN. God bless America, God bless our troops, and God bless each and every one of you.